Good morning, students. So, we were studying about pollination. Until last class, we studied about pollination, the definition of pollination, different types of pollination, and also about the pollination by different medium, that is the agents. There are two types of agents, you already know it, abiotic agents and biotic agents. So, in abiotic agents, we already studied about water and wind. Wind pollination is nothing but also called as anemophily, and water pollination is known as hydrophily. Yes, till here we have studied, and you know that the pollination which takes place by water or the medium is water is known as water pollination or hydrophily, and which is done by wind, it is known as anemophily. Yes, so it is a abiotic agent or a abiotic medium pollination. Now we are going to study about biotic agents or a biotic pollination. Now what do you mean by biotic? Biotic is nothing but living organism. Yes, it is a done by living organism. Now, I also told you in the last class when we were studying about the different types of other pollinating agents, I had told you that the characteristics of these pollinating agents or the characteristics of the flowers which are pollinated by such mediums is important. Yes or no? I had told you, like some of the characteristics in wind pollinated flowers was what? The pollen grains were large. Yes or no? They were produced in the large amount. That was one of the characteristics. Second was exposed anther and stigma. Yes, then they do not produce any nectar. So these were some of the characteristics of the wind and the water pollinated flowers. And I have also told you those characteristics are important. Question can be asked in such a way, like give the characteristics of wind pollinated flowers or give the characteristics of water pollinated flowers. Such questions can be asked. Okay, students, is it clear to you till here? Okay. So after coming to this, zoophily. Okay, pollination by animals, that is zoophily. Here the characteristics of the flowers are different. Yes, they are different from the water and the wind pollinated flowers. Okay, they are different from the water and the wind pollinated flowers. So what are the characteristics? So the one of those characteristics is the flowers are large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. Now, first, some of the characteristics of the flower are, it is large. The flowers are large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. Now, why is these characteristics of those flowers which is pollinated by animals? Zoophilus flowers, why they are of such characteristics, why they are large, why they are colorful, why they are fragrant and rich in nectar? Because they have to attract the birds, they have to attract the insects, they have to attract the bees. Yes or no? So they are large. Okay, so they are large, they are colorful, they have got attractive colors in them, so that they can attract these animals, the birds, the insects, they can attract them. Yes or no? Now, for example, when you see one beautiful color flower, you are attracted towards it. Yes or no? When you see one rose, a red rose, a yellow rose, pink rose, and all, you are attracted towards it. The similar way, the colors attract these animals, the colors attract the birds, the color attract the insects. Okay, so they are colorful and they are fragrant, they give nice smell. Okay, they are fragrant, they give nice smell, so that the bees, the birds, the humans as well, the mammals can be attracted towards them. Yes, they can be attracted towards them, they give a nice smell. Yes. Now there are many flowers, yes or no, like for example jasmine. Yes, then the champak, and there are so many flowers which are fragrant, which fragrance around. So those flowers even attract you people. Yes or no? Those flowers attract even you people. That means those fragrance attract people. Also, they can attract the birds, they can attract the insect, they can attract the bees. Okay, and next is rich in nectar. Yes, if any flower is rich in nectar, that sugary syrup present inside the flowers. Yes, any flowers which is rich in nectar, that is the sugary syrup present inside the flowers. Yes, so many of these animals, like the insects, the birds, are attracted towards it. Why? Because they get that nectar, because they get that sugary syrup. Yes or no? As a reward, as a part of a reward, they get that nectar. And in this process, what they will do, in this process, they are going to pollinate the flowers. In this process, they are going to pollinate the flowers. Now, what you need to remember, if I ask you in examination, the question, very easy question, for 2 or 3 marks, write the characteristics of the animal pollinated or zoophilus flower. Write the characteristics of those flowers which are pollinated by animals. Now, what you need to write here? You need to give this very easy and imaginative uh, characteristics, like they are large, they are colorful, because they can attract the animals. They are fragrant. They give nice odor. So no, any nice odor is attracted by anyone. Yes, anyone gets attracted by a very good odor. For example, now we use air fresheners, we use perfumes and all. Why? Because we need to smell good. Yes or no? Because we need to we need to feel good. Also, we need to attract others. Yes. So what happens here? Any kind of good smell uh, attracts these birds, these animals to pollinate those flowers, and they are rich in nectar. Why they as they are rich in nectar, they can attract many birds, many insects and all. Why? Because they get a reward, right? They get, in turn they get this nectar, this sugar syrup. Yes, so these are the some of the characteristics. Now next, coming to pollen grains. The pollen grains here are sticky. Yes, whereas in the wind pollinated and water pollinated flowers, the pollen grains are not sticky. They are not sticky. Why they are not sticky there? Because they can go and attach to any of the surfaces, and that goes wasted. Yes, that goes wasted. So in the wind and the water pollinated flowers, the pollen grains are not sticky. Whereas here the pollen grains are sticky. Now, why is it? Yes. Now, why this pollen grains are sticky here? See, very easy, students. Now, what happens? The bee or the insect will come and sit onto this and the surface. Yes, they come and sit on the flower. And now what happens? The pollen grains goes and attaches to their leg. Why? Because it is sticky, right? Yes, because it is sticky. The sticky nature, because of the sticky nature, they go and stick to the legs of these insects or bees. They go and stick to the legs of these insects and bees, because of which they can transfer the pollen grains from one flower to another flower. Like for example, this one bee is sitting in one of the hibiscus flower. Yes, one of the hibiscus flower. And what it has done is the pollen grains has stuck to the legs of these insects, leg of this insect. Now next what happens? The same insect will go and sit on the other hibiscus flower and pollinate it, because the pollen grains has stuck to the pollen grains has stuck to the legs of these insects. The pollen grains has stuck to the legs of this insect. So what happens? The pollen grains which are stuck to the legs of this insect will go and attach, yes, will go and attach to the stigmatic surface of the other flower. Will go and attach to the stigmatic surface of the other hibiscus flower, and the pollination will take place. Yes, the pollination will take place. So the pollen grains in the zoophilus flowers, the pollen grains in the zoophilus flowers are sticky. The pollen grains in the zoophilus flowers are sticky, and the stigmatic surface is also sticky. The stigma surface where the pollen grains grow is also sticky. The pollen grains where the stigma surface where the pollen grains grow is also sticky. So you need to remember now what are the characteristics. The characteristics of flowers are large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. Pollen grains are sticky, and stigma is also sticky. Okay, and also you need to remember pollen grains are relatively heavy. Yes, in the wind and the water pollinated flowers, the pollen grains are light weighted. Why they are light weighted there? So that they can be easily transferred from one flower to another flower with the wind and the water currents. Whereas in these flowers, where it is pollinated by animals, the pollen grains are relatively heavy and large with sticky or spiny walls. Yes. Can you see the pollen grains here? They are relatively heavy, not very heavy, relatively heavier than the wind and the water pollinated flowers, and they are spiny. They have got spiny walls. Spiny walls. You know, however, exine is a kind of a design structure. You all of you have already studied the structure of the pollen grain, and you know that it is a design structure. Yes or no? It has got those design structure like incisions over them. Pollen is less abundant than in wind pollinated flowers. Pollen is less abundant than the wind pollinated flowers. Yes, pollen grains are not produced in a large amount. Pollen grains are not produced in a large amount, whereas in the wind and the water pollinated flowers, the pollen grains are produced in the large amount. Certain rewards to the pollinators. Some of the pollination is done by the bees, insects, birds, and mammals. There are some of the rewards the pollinators get. Means these agents. These agents receive some of the awards. What are they? So the first award is the nectar. And the sugar syrup, which is produced by the flowers, that is their first reward. Yes, they get the nectar, which is like it is edible. They can eat it. Pollen grains as foods. Yes, they get pollen grains as their food as well. Uh, they can intake the pollen grains as their food. So this is a second reward. Provide safe place for laying eggs. Now what happens here? Some of these insects, okay, in Amorphophilus and Yucca, what happens here? These are the examples. So what happens? Some of these insects will go and sit on the flower. Yes, they pollinate them and lay their eggs. Yes, they pollinate them and these insects lay their eggs there. Okay, when they lay their eggs there, they incubate in the flower itself. Yes, they incubate in the flower itself. Incubate means they grow inside the flower itself. So some of these insects use this flower as a safe place to lay eggs. So this is also one of the reward for them. Okay, this is also one of the reward for them. So what are the certain rewards this pollinators get? Means these agents get, biotic agents. First thing is they get nectar, and that is the sugar syrup, which is the edible. They then the pollen grains as a food, they can intake it as a food. Provide safe place for laying the eggs. Yes, provide safe place for laying the eggs. They can easily go and lay the eggs inside the flower, and there itself the incubation, that is the growth of these eggs, will take place. So these are some of the major and general characteristics of animal pollinated flowers. Okay, animal pollinated flowers. That is zoophily. First thing is flowers are large. You need to remember it, students. The question can be asked for you. Very important question this is, because it is time and again asked in your question paper. What are the characteristics? And also for your NEET questions also, these questions have been asked. Some of the right, select some of the characteristics, select the right characteristics of this animal pollinated, wind pollinated, water pollinated plants, and all the questions are asked. So it is, you need to like thoroughly understand it. Okay, thoroughly understand it. So pollination by animals, that is zoophily. Zoophilous flowers are what? They are large, they are colorful, they are fragrant, means they give out odor. Okay, they give out odor, rich in nectar. They are rich in nectar. Rich in nectar means that sugar syrup which they can intake, which is edible. Yes, edible means which they can eat it up. Pollen grains are sticky. Stigma is also sticky. And certain rewards which the pollinators get: nectar. Next is pollen grains as their food, and also they can lay their eggs. So these are the general characteristics of the animal pollinated flowers. Next, coming to entomophily. Now, what is this? Now, one thing you need to remember, students, hereafter, whatever we are going to study, yes, hereafter, whatever we are going to study, it is all coming under anemophily. Clear? It is all coming under, it is all coming under zoophily. Zoophily means they are all coming under the animal pollination. Yes, they are all coming under animal pollination. Now, anything we are going to study, for example, entomophily we are going to study, ornithophily we are going to study, malacophily and other different types of the pollination, whatever we are going to study here, that everything will come under entomophily. Clear? Sorry, everything is going to come under zoophily. Everything is coming under zoophily. Now, what do you mean by entomophily? What do you mean by entomophily? So, students, it's better that you write down and take different types of these pollination, because it will be easy for you to understand. Why? Because you might sometimes get confused. Okay, what is entomophily? What is anemophily? What is zoophily and all? You might get confused. So you need to remember this. Entomophily is nothing but it's a pollination by insects. Pollination by insects, and this comes under zoophily, pollination by animals. Yes, and pollination by animals, that is a wide topic. In that wide thing, entomophily, ornithophily, and all this pollination comes under. Clear? All this pollination comes under. Now, what do you mean by entomophily here? Entomophily is nothing but it is pollination by insects. Yes, pollination by insects. Now, what is the definition here? The pollen grains are transferred to a mature flower through the agency of insects like moths, butterflies, wasps, bees, and beetles. Yes, they are pollinated by these insects. They are pollinated by the butterflies, they are pollinated by bees, they are pollinated by beetles. Okay, they are pollinated by wasps. So entomophily is nothing but pollination by insects. Yes, pollination by insects, and in that these are moths, butterflies, wasps, bees, beetles come in. Yes, these are the different examples. Now, what is the characteristic of the insect pollinated flowers? What is the characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers here? So, some of the characteristics are, they are showy. Showy means they are very attractive and bright colored. Means they are kind of ornamental. Yes, they're kind of ornamental. They are showy, means very attractive and brightly colored. Means you can like see of those see these flowers, right? Like for example, hibiscus, rose, jasmine, sunflower and all. They are very showy, right? Very attractive to see. Yes. So these flowers, which are pollinated by insects, they are very attractive and bright colored. Yes, very bright colored. Why they are bright colored? So that they can attract these bees towards them. Yes, they can attract these bees towards them. If they are bright in color, if they are very attractive, so that many of these insects will be attracted towards them. Yes or no? Many of these bees will be attracted towards them. And most insect pollinated flowers have a landing platform. Yes. Always remember, most insect pollinated flowers have a landing platform. Means here. Can you see here? One landing platform means there will be one small bud like in between. Bud like in between, and the pollen grains will be here. So this is what we call it as landing platform. For example, in the sunflower and all. So they will have one landing platform so that they can easily go and land on this flower and pollinate them. Land on this flower and pollinate them. Means all those flowers which are pollinated by insects, all those flowers which are pollinated by insect will have a landing platform like this. Means one surface where the insect can go and pollinate it, can sit on it and pollinate it. So most insect pollinated plants have a landing platform. So I would like to request everyone to write down these characteristics and take. So they will have a landing platform like where they can go and sit and pollinate them. Yes, they can go and sit and pollinate them. Pollen grains are spiny. Spiny means they have this, the exine is designed. The exine is designed. The pollen grains are spiny, heavy, relatively heavier than the wind pollinated and water pollinated flowers, and are surrounded by a yellow, oily, sticky substance called as pollen kit. The pollen grains are designed, means they are spiny. You all know the structure of the exine, right? Imagine the structure of the exine. Yes, the structure of the exine on the surface of the pollen grains, and they are heavy, relatively heavier than the wind and the water pollinated flowers, and they are surrounded by a yellow, oily, sticky substance. They are surrounded by a yellow, oily, sticky substance. A sticky substance is present on the surface of the pollen grain, and it is known as pollen kit. What it is called as? It is called as pollen kit. Stigmas are often inserted and sticky. Yes, they are inside of the flowers and they are sticky in nature. The pollen grains are also sticky in nature. Some flowers provide safe place to insect for laying eggs. Example is yucca. Yes, some of the flowers will provide the space for these insects to lay eggs there, a safe place to lay eggs, so there they can incubate. Yes, there they can grow inside the flower. Like for example here, in this landing surface, what will happen is the insect will lay the eggs here inside the landing surface. Yes, the insect will lay the eggs inside the landing surface, and here the growth of the insects will take place, or incubation of the insects will take place. Now you need to remember what is entomophily. Entomophily is nothing but it is a insect pollination. It is an insect pollination, and the pollen grains are transferred to a flower by the agency of insects. Like insect is a medium, like the moths, butterflies, wasps, bees, beetles. The flowers are very attractive. They are brightly colored, and most insect pollinated flowers have got a landing platform there. Yes, the pollen grains are spiny, heavy, and they are surrounded by a oily, sticky substance known as pollen kit. Stigmas are often inserted and sticky. Some flowers provide safe place to insects for laying eggs. Means the inside they can lay eggs easily and they are incubated. So this is some of the characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers. What these are? These are the characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers. For example, now, if it is asked for you, write a short note on entomophily. Or if it is asked for you, give the characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers. So what you have to do? You have to give these characteristics. You have to give these characteristics. Like you need to first explain what is entomophily. After that, you need to give this characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers. Next, coming to agents of pollination. This is very important, students. I would like to request you to write down and take this, or at least take a picture of it so that you will remember. It's better that you write down and keep, so that next time whenever you need to like just study it, you can just go through this. It's enough. Yes, you can just go through this and it's enough. Why? Because you will get one idea. It's a mirror. It's a mirror about everything what is there in the agents of pollination. Now, in the agents of pollination, I have already told you there are two types: abiotic agents and biotic agents. In abiotic agents, there are two types: anemophily, which is pollinated by wind, and hydrophily, pollination by water. Now, anemophily, wind pollinated example is palm trees, date, and cotton. Wind pollinated flowers are palm, date, and cotton. Yes, hydrophily, vallisneria, and seagrass is an example where the pollination takes place by water. Abiotic means non-living. Yes, abiotic means non-living. Now coming to biotic. Biotic means living. Yes, biotic means living. And biotic, now what and all will come? First, what comes in biotic is zoophily. Yes, what in biotic comes is zoophily, that is pollination by animals. Yes, pollination by animals. In pollination by animals, that is zoophily, in that we come across entomophily, ornithophily, chiropterophily, malacophily, and myrmecophily. Entomophily, ornithophily, chiropterophily, malacophily, and myrmecophily. So these are the different pollination types that comes under zoophily. That comes under zoophily. Now, zoophily is nothing but pollination by animals. In that, entomophily, pollination by insects. So, which are done by bees, butterfly, wasps, then beetles. There are different types of insects which comes. Next, coming to ornithophily. Now, what do you mean by ornithophily? Ornitho means by birds. Yes, ornithophily is nothing but the pollination which takes place by birds. And in ornithophily, we come across different types of birds which pollinate, like for example, hummingbird, bombax, and these are the birds which are in the pollination process. In the pollination process. Now you need to remember, ornithophily is nothing but pollination by birds. You know, no, ornithology, where we study about the birds and all. So ornithophily is nothing but pollination by birds. Then chiropterophily. What do you mean by this now? Chiropterophily. Chiropterophily is nothing but pollination by bats. Pollination by bats is nothing but chiropterophily. Yes, chiropterophily is nothing but pollination by bats. Malacophily. Malacophily is pollination by snails and slugs. Snails do the pollination. Myrmecophily by ants. Example is Rubiaceae family, where the ants are involved in the pollination process. So first you need to remember the agents of pollination. In the agents of pollination, abiotic and biotic. In abiotic, two types: anemophily, hydrophily. In biotic, zoophily. In zoophily, remember, in zoophily, entomophily, ornithophily, chiropterophily, malacophily, and myrmecophily comes in. Remember it. Then you might ask me in the later the questions like, ma'am, why you are saying zoophily when we are talking about entomophily or something like that? Because it comes under that. It comes under the zoophily, that is pollination by animals. So we studied about the pollination by animals, zoophily, the general characteristics of the flowers, how the flowers are, how the pollen grain is, and what are the rewards for the zoophilous agents, that is the biotic agents. Next is entomophily, that is pollination by insects. That is pollination by insects. So I told you here the pollination is taking place by the agency of insect. Insects are the ones which do the pollination process. And the examples are very easy. Butterfly, wasp, moths, beetles, bees are the examples. Then coming to the characteristics of the flowers. They are brightly colored, they are attractive, yes, they give the odor, the pollen grains are heavy, they are sticky, yes, stigmas are sticky, and there are some of the rewards like nectar. They provide a safe place to lay the eggs. So these are the different characteristics of the insect pollinated flowers. And then we studied about this agents of pollination flow chart. So this is what we have covered for today's class. If you have got any doubts, any confusion, anything you have not understood, you can ask me personally. If you find any concept difficult, if you want me to repeat it once again in tomorrow's class, the same thing I'm going to repeat it again. So you can contact me personally and can inform me about the same. Thank you, students, and have a nice day.